What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an EP review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new EP from the band Primitive Man, entitled Home is Where the Hatred Is. This is released on Relapse Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Denver, Colorado, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very misanthropic, sludgy, noisy, and hate-fueled style of doom metal. Pretty much this has been a band that has been taking the doom metal world by storm, and this is a project formed by a guy by the name of Ethan Lee McCarthy. I am a huge fan of any musical output that this guy puts out. He has been very well versed within the worlds of grindcore and assorted other formats of metal, most notably bands such as Clinging to the Trees of a Forest Fire, Death of Self, and more recently with bands such as Vermin Womb and his recent addition into the band Withered. Really awesome band, you should definitely check them out. But Primitive Man is something completely different from the pack. Something very slow, something very despicable, evil, hateful. That's what Primitive Man set out to do with their sound, and in 2013 they released their debut full-length entitled Scorn. Such a marvelous piece of doom metal, so hateful, so loud, and so heavy. It's almost gut-wrenching how heavy this band is. The perfect production tone, the awesome visual aspects, great style, awesome guttural growls and vocals, just a really awesome debut release. And in 2014 this band partook in a series of great split releases, most notably with bands such as Zafan and Fister. Now, in 2015, Primitive Man are back, and they have a brand new slab of doom to lay upon your ears. It's a 4-track EP, and it clocks in at around 31 minutes in length, and pretty much, if you have been familiarized with the type of sound that Primitive Man deliver, you will feel right at home listening to this EP, because this is just as heavy as the debut, if not a glimpse as to what could be even heavier than that. The guitar work on here is just so phenomenally heavy. The perfect tone, the perfect delivery, it's all set in stone here with this release. Upon the first couple of tracks, Loathe and Downfall, just the guitar work, the tone, just the powerful doomy riffs that are being delivered, it just sounds amazing. Even the sludgier sort of misanthropic sort of riffs you hear on the later halves of those songs, it really does sound amazing. And the bottom end to this record is really awesome too. It's a very loud and good bass tone, nothing too overbearing or overpowerful. This is a very loud record, but I definitely think the volume here is perfectly mixed. I definitely commend whoever was behind the mixing and mastering of this EP for something completely awesome sounding. Moving on to the drums, I really love the pace of the drums here. Of course, this is a band that prides itself on delivering very methodical and lengthy songs, but this drummer definitely delivers wonders here. It's not just a straight-out, slow-paced doom metal drum performance. There's a bit of variety mixed up here and there. You get the occasional spastic sort of blast beats and quick fills. I'm just loving the way the drummer handles himself here, especially once again going to the track Loathe. That's the longest track on here at about 11 minutes in length, and just the stamina and endurance in that song is just really awesome to hear and listen to. But overall, this drummer is definitely a joy to listen to. He definitely is a very suitable drummer for this sort of metal style. Great pace, great delivery, great pace. I love how he handles himself here. And of course, when it comes to the vocals, they're just as venomous and as hateful as can be. Of course, his vocal style has drastically changed a lot over the years. You can tell that he has a very, Ethan has a very high-pitched, screaming sort of growl to his voice, but with Primitive Man, what he does with his vocals, it sounds a lot deeper, a lot more bellowing, and a lot more hate-filled. You hear, once again on the track Loathe, just his vocal delivery on that song is just so marvelous. I really love the way he sounds on there. And even the track Bagman, which has a bit of an alcoholism sort of aspect to the track. Very very bleak and hate-filled lyrics being displayed here on that song, and I think he does a really awesome job with how his voice sounds on that particular song. And then you get a track called A Marriage of Nothingness, which is pretty much a harsh noise sort of instrumentation with a woman being in a somewhat vulnerable position where she sounds like she's afraid or she's scared or something. And I definitely think that amps up the craziness that this band has to offer, and I definitely think it's a very appropriate closer to this EP. So overall, if you're a fan of doom metal, if you're a fan of sludge, if you're a fan of the first Primitive Man record, Scorn, you're definitely going to enjoy Home Is Where the Hatred Is. I definitely think this is the right next step for Primitive Man. They know how to deliver great doom metal, and I definitely think this is one of the best EPs of this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you a link in the description box to the Primitive Man Bandcamp page where you can stream this EP in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can buy it digitally, and you can also buy it physically. To the best of my knowledge, this is available on vinyl only, standard black 12-inch vinyl and silver 12-inch vinyl. I will also link you to the Trill Kommand web store, which is a store I believe that is run by members of Primitive Man, where you can purchase a physical copy direct through the band. You're helping the band a great deal if you buy it through them. So, again, the EP is Home Is Where the Hatred Is by Primitive Man. This is released on Relapse Records. Definitely check this out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very strong 9 out of 10. Very sludgy, hateful doom from one of the best newer doom bands going today. So support Primitive Man. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until the next time, Army Ho out.